They have cigar-shaped spaceships. Are the two waves of aliens coming to Earth to mine? Today we'll talk about the UFO crash in 1986, which is known as the Soviet version of the Roswell incident. According to the Russian newspaper Pravda, it occurred in Dnipro, formerly known as Dnipropetrovsk, a town in the coastal area of Russia. The place used to be a part of China called Haisku during the Qing dynasty. In 1860, it was ceded to the Russian Empire according to the Beijing Treaty. The place was originally named Dzerzhinsk in Russian and was renamed to its current name in 1973. Here's what happened. On the evening of January 29, 1986, around 8 p.m., local residents saw a reddish ball-shaped object witnessed by hundreds of people. They said the object looked a bit like the moon. The object flew parallel to the ground and made no sound during the flight. Later, it was determined that the object's speed was about 15 meters per second, and it flew at a height of 700 to 800 meters above the ground. When the object reached the height of 611, it began to descend and then crashed into the hill. Except for one witness, all other witnesses said that there was no sound when the object hit the ground. This 611 hill is a local hill, also called Izvestkovaya Mountain. At first, local residents thought it was a rocket launch from the nearest military base. However, it turned out that neither the Soviet Union nor foreign countries had conducted any rocket launches, nor were there any related training. The time came to February 3rd, and a team of investigators from the Soviet Academy of Sciences arrived at the scene to investigate. Eyewitness descriptions of the descent of the unidentified flying object were not consistent. For example, some people claimed that the object fell with a flash and then disappeared, while others claimed to have felt intense shaking at the top of the hill, with different levels of light emitted as the object rose and fell. After the impact, a raging fire broke out immediately due to the intensity of the impact, much like a forest fire. It burned for about an hour and a half. A large amount of debris was found at the scene, including most of the elements in the periodic table and very strong alloys. Only diamond cutters could cut the silver metal pieces that fell on the rocks at the impact site. Later, it was determined that these metals were different from the lead found on Mound 611 and the lead sediments found in the local area. In addition, black, glassy, droplet-shaped beads and some net-shaped fragments were found at the site. A total of about 70 grams of lead, 5 grams of net-shaped fragments, and 40 grams of beads were found. The radiation level at the crash site on the ground was normal. However, the investigation team took photos at the scene with 2 different cameras, but all the photos that were later developed were blank, which was very strange. On the evening of February 8th at 8:30 p.m., 2 yellow spherical unidentified flying objects appeared at Mound 669. They flew from north to south, circled the crash site at Mound 611 4 times, and then flew north. Scientists analyzed the fragments found and discovered some inexplicable phenomena. For example, the chemical composition analysis of the beads showed that they were mainly composed of lead and siliquarin, and some of the debris contained large amounts of zinc, bismuth, and rare earth elements. In addition, analysis of the soil, rocks, and burnt wood obtained from the landing site showed that their chemical composition was similar to that obtained from the Tunguska explosion site. The scientific community suspects that some people say it was caused by a meteorite impact, and some say it was caused by some experiment by Tesla. In any case, there are various opinions and complexities, and so far there is no consensus. We can discuss this topic in detail in the future if we have the opportunity. In addition, scientists analyzed some metal fragments and found that even after long-term exposure to high temperatures, the materials composing these fragments would not dissolve in strong acids and organic solvents. These materials are very advanced technologically and are virtually indestructible. One mesh fragment is composed of several elements including mirror, gold, platinum, sodium, and samarium, while analysis of another mesh fragment showed that it contained gold, silver, and nickel. After being heated in a vacuum, this fragment no longer displayed these elements, but fragments containing platinum and iridium were detected. Additionally, an unusual gauze was discovered, which was made of the smallest carbon fibers and metal wires. The wire was only 17 microns wide, which is quite incredible. These gauzes are made of twisted fibers, and it is impossible for earthly technology to manufacture such things, and it is unknown what their purpose is. The gold concentration detected in one mesh fragment was equivalent to 1,100 grams per ton, much higher than the concentration in local gold deposits. Mining becomes economically feasible when the gold concentration reaches 4 grams per ton. However, there are no gold mines in Dneprodzerzhinsk that are worth mining, which means that gold mines with a concentration of 4 grams per ton do not exist. Compared to the gold concentration of 1,100 grams in the magnesium tonnage analyzed in the UFO fragments mentioned earlier, the difference is at least 275 times. Soviet scientists once suspected that this unidentified flying object was American finance. After the dissolution of the Soviet Union, all these fragments were provided to scientists in the United Kingdom, the United States, and Japan. They were allowed to investigate the disaster site and record videos. After studying, American scientists opposed the idea that the object might be a breakthrough in American technology. Eventually, both sides began to suspect that this was related to the KGB, so the KGB decided to investigate itself, mainly prompted by some rumors from local people. These rumors claimed that the KGB was testing some secret weapons. Later, an expedition was sent to the mountain for a more thorough investigation, and significant anomalies were found on Mount 611. After the Soviet satellite crashed, all items on the scene were magnetized. They collected nearly 30 kilograms of various samples, such as metal particles, wood fragments, and stones, and sent them to Moscow for analysis. The results caused a sensation worldwide because these anomalies were not traces of natural disasters or products of earthly technology. Mount 611 is the only place in the world with a confirmed landing trace of an unidentified flying object. On the evening of November 28, 1987 at 11:24 p.m., 32 unidentified flying objects were spotted over the Kalinovka, Olginka, and Zhernovsky districts of Dnipro in the coastal border zone of the Soviet Union. There were hundreds of witnesses, including military personnel and civilians. The witnesses' descriptions of the spherical objects were similar to those of the unidentified flying objects seen in 1986 on Mount 611. The objects flew over 12 different settlements, with 13 flying over Mount 611, the site of a previous incident. 3 objects hovered over settlements, and 5 objects illuminated nearby mountains. These objects flew silently at altitudes between 150 to 800 meters. Initially, witnesses did not realize they were looking at unidentified flying objects and thought they were airplanes. When the objects flew over houses, they interfered with household appliances. Officials from the Ministry of Internal Affairs later reported seeing the objects on a street around 11:30 p.m. One group of witnesses saw a hot ball flying from the direction of the Rigorivka volcano. In front of the flame was an unpolished sphere, and in the middle of the object was a red sphere. Another group of witnesses included workers from the Borzhevoy quarry, who saw a huge cylindrical object around 11 p.m. The object was flying towards the quarry and was as wide as a 5-story building and about 200 to 300 meters long. The front of the object was illuminated like burning metal. The workers were afraid the object would fall on them. Some might think it was a rocket or something similar, but no rockets were launched from any Soviet space launch centers on January 29, 1986 or November 28, 1987. In 1989, some claimed to have seen a UFO landing on Mount 611. Some believe that certain unique rare metals in the area attracted these UFOs. If that is the case, the next visit may not be far away. In addition, during the 1987 UFO sighting, some witnesses saw a giant cigar-shaped UFO hundreds of meters long. According to other records, the subterranean civilization of reptilians has cigar-shaped ships. Could these waves of sightings be caused by the reptilians? Why are they interested in Dnipro Wild Boar River? What is so special about this place? In fact, this area is a well-known mining area in Russia with 9 different deposits and extremely rich mineral resources, including various precious and rare metals. The lizard man Leseda in the Leseda archives once said that there are very rich mineral resources on Earth. 65 million years ago, 2 waves of aliens came to Earth to search for mineral resources. As a result, due to various conflicts, a global nuclear war lasting 200 years broke out, ultimately leading to the extinction of most of the creatures on Earth that winter. Why did these aliens fight for these minerals? because rare metals include metals with extremely high melting points and excellent corrosion resistance, such as tungsten, rhenium, osmium, tantalum, molybdenum, and chromium, which have extremely important roles in national defense, aerospace, and other fields. Even with our current level of technology, we already know these facts, let alone those advanced civilizations with interstellar travel technology. So how do these aliens mine? I speculate that their UFOs emit strange light beams to scan the minerals back and forth to search for rare elements. As for the specific mining methods, they may use certain high-tech means to quietly complete the task. With our current level of technology, we are naturally unable to detect their mining operations. So what is the purpose of these UFOs coming here? Why come to Nizhny Tagil Wild Boar River? Why go to the 6-6 high ground? Leave a message in the comments section.